We are live.
All right, welcome on in, guys. The producer show, end of a very busy week, especially for Gus here. I guess that's kind of where I would start things off. It seemed like Kirk today was all good with Gus, all set. We had Montante, part of the M&M Boys, the new producer duo potentially, or as of today, basically confirmed. Maybe
people are confused about that.
Yeah, I'm a little confused still. So why don't we hear from Gus? So Gus, bring us through what this week has been like for you and what you took away from today.
I took away today. It seems like I'm gone. So, I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciated the opportunity. It's been a fun ride. No, it's been a long week, getting beat up, rightfully so, for everything. And then, taking the turns Wednesday and Thursday and then coming today. It is what it is. It's Kirk's decision at the end of the day. It's always going to be so.
Right. And so I think that turn came after Tuesday's episode, the emergency episode. I guess for that, once you went to RyderCon, so bring us back to RyderCon real quick. Like what went through you going to that, and once you saw Kirk's tweet, where was your head at with everything?
So I get the text from Justin. I saw like a post from it, like, cause I saw the promotions and I was like, that's interesting. I saw Justin and I was like, okay, that's like I'm going to go and do this. So I hopped in the car right after it left here, went right down.
Now, if Justin didn't send you that, would you have gone?
No.
I believe that.
What did he send you? Like, you should go to this? Or
no, he just sent me it, and like I had seen it before, like, because when you're just scrolling, you'll see the things pop up, and like it kind of stood out to me once. And I was like, all right, and then when I saw Justin, I was like, it was kind of like a little confirmation in my head, like, all right, I saw it, thought of it, Justin thinks of it. It's like 2 and 2 on that front.
Well, you had said earlier, I think that day before, so I guess that would be Monday's show, that Justin was the gold standard. We had Mike drop the line, what would Justin do? What would Justin do? Like, explain in your own words what it means to be the gold standard for this role, whatever this role is.
I would say go out, get content, that adds to the show. If you have to stir a little bit if it calls for it. And they were right. The Rico instance did call for stirring shit, and that's what it was.
So what would you have done differently, having lived through the rest of this week, having even just said right now that it needs to be for the show? Like, how would you have gone about RyderCon differently? Would you have even gone at all after that show the next day? Where do you stand on all that?
I think I still would have gone, and I would have gone with the mindset of bringing healthy debate, but making it about Titus. Healthy debate. Why are you quitting on Team Minahan? It's like kind of keep those more pointed questions on that back and forth. Really just put the pressure on Rico, bringing up kind of the issues. So Rico, healthy debate. Who's a bigger personality in the room, Kirk Minahan or who? Like kind of like stuff like that.
Stuff like that. Great. I think one of the problems too was first seeing you there on the healthy debate account. Like, it's almost something like if that had come out from the Kirk Minahan show account where you did it in the way that maybe you just described or a different way completely, like maybe that would have been the better look. But I think them getting ahead of it and putting out that clip first, your arm around him, that's a tough look, tough scene. I think that added to everything.
Also, the element of surprise, I think, would have been good for good content because people were bracing for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe if in hindsight, you were right. You should have gone because at that moment, you have to do something. And it's just a regular Tuesday. Not that much could be going on. I mean, if you didn't do that, you might have made a terrible song about Chris Stapleton, So there's not that much on the table. I'm just saying.
We'll get to that too.
You did the right thing going there. The execution wasn't great. And Kirk's biggest point, and he's right. You already done the fucking drive. You might as well try to get something out of it.
Yeah, but then I saw the tweet, and that tweet just threw me into a blender. I started panicking.
That's what I'm saying. Mick started panicking last week when he saw the tweet from Kirk calling out the show not being up or anything like that. So you kind of fell into the same hole there by doing that and turning away.
Yeah.
A quick question from Freddie Lynn in the chat. I did see this the other day. One question for Gus. Can you explain the old call to the show where you had to pick 8 to 12 people to save the world and leave 4? 8 out of 12 people to save the world and leave 4 behind. Did you think you'd get through all 12 people?
No, I did not. Not at all. It was more so of I forget who sent it to me. Someone sent me like a questionnaire that was like it was some.
So your call was someone else's idea too back then?
There's a trend here.
It was, well, because the person who gave it to me didn't want to call it in. I was like, you know what, fine, I'll call in and try to ask
Good
this
instincts on
question.
their end.
He's like a sponge.
So
in.
it was kind of reference topical at the time, and it was a whole thing about how oh god, it was like for some test, and it was all just like pointed questions of like, do you take the white person? Do you take that? It was one of those
I'm
things.
sure you'd ace that test.
Jesus, stay away from that.
Give them the
shit.
context clues. I think we know where you go.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get to later in the week now. Your video last night. You had two actually, pretty much. The calling Jay Pachi, as we've heard, it's should be called, not like Steve, Jay Pace. Calling it. What were your guys' thoughts? Pat Ford and Montante are here with us as well after the show today. What were your guys' thoughts on Steve yesterday and that Jay Pace comment?
It's funny.
It's a tough look for a Sicilian guy.
Yeah, it's funny, but it actually bothers him more than the average person would
he's not
imagine.
happy.
Right.
Like, I'll go lay down line, or whatever the fuck that is. Like, he actually was bothered by that.
That line's
was
great.
funny. That was
line's
funny.
great. I thought relatively, compared to other Steve from Gloucester performances, I thought yesterday was actually one of the better ones. I think that, the bit is definitely a thing. The Italian bit thing
He's getting
is
more
very real.
self-awareness.
But yes, exactly.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
The true thing with Steve, though, is can he take that heat? Like, from Kirk, like, in the moment, it seems like Kirk seems to like him. He's not overly hard on Steve. But can he take that actual heat from the Minifans? Can he take that heat from Kirk? I guess you could ask the same thing about me. That comes up a good amount, too.
If Gus is gone and somebody else is in there who's just, say it's just totally normal, one of you guys doing whatever, like that heat that Gus is getting, there's a chance that turns to Steve if he says something. Because he says some stuff sometimes that is like the pace thing, and it almost gets overlooked because it just turns to Gus right away. So he could get some heat, coming his way.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it yesterday, but they almost have like this Batman Joker relationship, Gus and Steve, that is, where like neither can survive without the other. So if Gus is truly gone, which it seems like it is after today, can Steve survive without Gus?
Yeah, it's like the ecosystem.
Exactly.
Right?
Symbiotic
if you
relationship.
get rid of the ants, the birds die. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be life after Gus, LAG. For Steve, he's gonna have to find somewhere new to pivot to. But I think he can. Does he? I think if the Eminem boys do get in there, I think he would immediately be on our side and hate Coleman.
I don't know. I think he has a soft spot for me.
I think he has a soft spot for Gus.
That's true. That's true.
So soft spots don't mean much.
I think he'll like you. I think he'll turn on Mick.
Yeah. Just a new.
Look, I don't see it with this guy.
Yeah.
This guy Mick, he's a liar. He's a loser.
So
What's he done since he started here? Seriously.
he left Kirk. He left.
Beyond average is a little too nice. I think he's terrible.
Studio is focused on his own podcast. I mean, what are we doing, Kirk?
So I guess bringing up Mick now. Before we get into the Eminem boys, let's recap Poopgate real quick. So Montante snapped the picture this morning of the underside of the toilet in the studio here. Yeah, it looked like a murder scene. Do we have final thoughts on who it may be after the show today now? Kind of seeing some of the Shark Minahan standings and everything. Where are we leaning now?
You guys, I thought about this, and you probably don't even notice it. You guys are in here when everyone else is in here.
Yeah.
Have you heard that when that bathroom door closes, it's not quiet.
Right.
Have you heard that door close that you can remember?
I've heard that door close for Mick.
Yep. And then wasn't it Daver too?
Last time I was here, the door was closed. It's back to being open the way it should be.
Right. I always leave it open.
Yeah, I always
never
leave it
really
open.
close it. So
Daver's a big on closing the door. Listen,
First time in here, I closed it, but I wouldn't after that.
and if Daver's gonna shit, that's the end result.
right.
You're not getting a quick cats drop off these little nuggets. Or
That's
it's
what I'm
clean.
saying. Mick's a little guy. I don't really know how Crohn's works.
Yeah,
I mean, if you get the exploding,
does it
if you get the
get tough
exploding
like
shit,
that?
it's gonna be bad.
I'm pretty sure.
Mike Thierry asking the important questions in the chat. What's the plan to clean the poop? I mean, listen, if Gus is gone, it might just have to be a me thing. I might need to get down and dirty in there.
That's if you're gonna have someone
Do it.
come in here and set up your refrigerator or whatever. You get someone in here to clean the poop.
true.
You got the
Coleman's
funds.
embracing life after
No
Gus
one would.
right
no
away.
one blame you
no,
for.
no. I'm not.
outsourcing
Just
that.
Clean enough
listen.
shit.
You gotta look ahead. You can't look back.
No, I'm not saying it a bad way.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'd have to bust out the yellow gloves and get on in there.
That pube is secretly the most disgusting part of it.
That is
100%.
very gross.
Somebody
Yeah.
zoomed in on it.
I
did.
guess we could do a DNA test.
I'd be okay because I'm more curious to know who it is, and it's not me. So I'm just curious to know who it is. I asked him. He's like, poop DNA definitely. That's still fresh. You could solve a murder with that.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, Nick Tacular saying lots of weight behind that backsplash. True. True. That's why Daver plus the pube thing.
What about Josh? Was Josh here last Friday?
No.
Where did that voice come from?
I'm thinking here. I'm thinking.
No, I mean, Josh seemingly out, and I kind of get it.
Have you guys talked to him at all?
I reached out, and I somewhat apologize. I can read the text exactly.
You guys threw him under the bus.
I did. It was one of those days.
It was
where,
during your
ran him over
onslaught.
quick.
So
yeah, it was a tough day all around, I guess, and I think he caught the heat in the moment, and I do feel bad. I felt bad. I said, hey man, you did nothing wrong with Best Of. It was never on you or anything. You know, I would like him to come back, but then at the same time, it was a weird situation too, where Kirk had said he's all good on Josh, so I didn't know where he stood there. I guess if he were to have come in, it would have been an okay thing. I like Josh; he's a great guy. You know, willing to just come in, and I think my main reasoning. This goes back to intern Nick now.
This fucking mystery guy.
Yeah, no, I didn't really mean for it to be. If it came up, I wouldn't have minded saying where I was at with it. I wasn't trying to keep it hidden or anything like that. It was just more so I wanted to test this kid out, see if he could actually keep up with the show, understand the show a bit, because I think in cutting clips you kind of need to do a bit of that. Also, having been a Viceroy and in that program, sometimes these guys, you know, reveal who they are to the greater community, whether that's them running the account, or if in this situation he's all of a sudden like, yeah, I'm Barstool BC and I'm intern for this Barstool show. Like, that clout can kind of get to some guys on campus, I guess. So I wanted to feel him out and see how I hate that fucking drop there. Yeah, clip that. But I wanted to see how he would do with everything, and with the Best Of too. I had reached out December 1st to everyone. That's on me. Again, like I've said multiple times, like that is on me. I should have checked in more. I should have doubled down on making sure that everyone was doing things, and I've, you know, put plans in place for that in the future. Kirk said he doesn't want us on it, but regardless of that, I'm going to have a plan in place, just so we can, you know, be on good footing with that come next year, and we don't have that fuck up yet again. Okay, let's see. We got David in Maryland asking, can we get Montante's thoughts on Jane Jetson? So that was from today's episode. Montante dove deep into his experience masturbating to cartoon porn characters, specifically Marge and Lois.
To give a little background to it, like I wouldn't make that up. I don't know where that benefits. To be fully transparent, when I used to take Adderall, like Gus, believe it or not, I have ADHD. I stopped taking it, as you could tell, because it does take away your metabolism. But I used to be so horned up to where it would take forever to get to where you're going,
right.
get the climax, as they say in science class. So I would go on
Health class.
I would go on like picture websites, and it's like you click on like a MILF picture and it would take you to a different site. Every once in a while, after like 30, 40 minutes of getting after it, I would end up on a March, and I'd be like, all right, we're here. We found the final destination. So no, that's how I got there. I don't seek it out. I am a fan. I get that more than feet.
Yeah, honestly,
I don't
same.
get
Yeah,
feet.
I don't.
Yeah.
Understand
I get
the
that more than
thing at
feet,
all,
and I'm a man enough to admit it. No, Jane Jetson, I don't even know what she would look like, to be honest with you.
And then Mike Terry chimed in with Velma too. Well, so why don't we just do this? Why don't you give us your Mount Rushmore real quick of
think there's just
hottest female cartoon characters?
I think there's just two. The two that I've had experienced.
Jessica Rabbit.
I was gonna say Jessica Rabbit's 1-1.
Jessica, you
Wabbit.
said what? Did you say Wabbit? Was that intentional?
No, that's what I said.
All right, well, benefited you there. I don't know. I think that Avatar had a nice little body on her.
That's true. I remember
I
feeling.
mean, that's Zoe. That's what's her name?
I don't know.
Zoe Zeldanis, isn't that the actress?
I'll take your word on it.
she's the one in Guardians
yeah.
too. Yeah, Gamora.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing that like in the theater and being like uncomfortable as a kid, like that moment. I saw that movie with like my entire family, and they were hooking tails and everything.
Nothing wrong with that.
Fucking tails.
No, who's the Lola Bunny? Great one.
Yeah.
The 90s Lola Bunny.
Eminem's the obvious one, but there is something to that. Although they like de-slutted her.
Well, yeah, since you bring up M&Ms, let's talk about the M&M boys.
That's a transition.
Beautiful,
About that.
beautiful segue
Yeah,
there.
we already have chemistry.
So the M&M boys, how did this start? It sounded like you initiated this with
100%.
Mick. So what was your thought process behind this? I know this is hard for you.
Like I said, I was listening last week, and I really thought Gus was like gone. I wasn't like even hoping. I was just like, from a realistic standpoint, Gus is toast. So how do I work on getting there? And I was like, Steve touched on. I was like, oh, just accept the job. I don't want to like relocate for something. Or Kirk could seriously look at me like 2 weeks and be like, all right, like that was like good job. Like get the fuck out of here. So I'm in the area enough. So I was like, what if we split Gus's salary and just do his role week on, week off, and it made sense for both of us. Like just made as much sense for me as it did for Mick. And yeah, since then we talked a little bit about it. And we're like, hey, like don't fucking do what you did last time in there. Be like semi-composed. But as time went by, and like I said, they kept playing a game of chicken, and Kirk kept losing. We spoke, and I was like, Mick, #Mick. I think Mick was right. Like I think he's not getting fired. But after today, who the fuck knows?
So you can say confidently that Mick's performance the other day, he talked a big game and everything. Do you think that was your part keeping him calm and refrained last time he was in here in the third?
I think if the M&M boys that thought is not created earlier in that week, he may have gone postal. But yeah,
Mick's outburst
stick to the plan.
Cost him half a salary.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Cost him half a salary.
Yes.
He's like, fuck, now I got to pivot. I'll take half.
But why it's perfect for both of us, like I love the show. I could do my normal job, which doesn't take like I don't work 40 hours a week. Like, I drive a lot, but like I have time to think and come up with ideas. And he could do his normal job. Like it wouldn't really fuck it with our lives that much. So yeah, like splitting Gus' salary, everyone clowns on Gus for how much he's getting paid. So imagine splitting it, that's even less money. But we can like continue our lives and then finally have a role in the show and I think make it better. So it makes sense for both of us.
Do you continue your show and Mick his?
No, if he's like
Beyond Average World,
he's like you can't get blacked out and be talking about stolen elections and fucking Jews and tunnels. I'm like, all right, fair. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
Like
what about like the Mike and the Minifan appearance?
I like him on the network, but it's the
I do too.
It's the skips. It's the skips call if he says no more of that, or if he says all right, go on there, just don't be fucking blacked out. I could do that.
Right. And now part of this is this on-off deal or whatever, where it would be 1 week Mick, one week you, like you were saying. How does that work in terms of commitment to the show? Those weeks that you're off, are you doing anything for the show?
Yeah. So like you said, it'll be extra hand cutting clips, or we'll have believe it or not, like us three will talk. I know it's not been the dynamic the whole time, but put in the group chat, hey, can someone do X, Y, and Z? Hey, I'm in Wind Gap, Pennsylvania. I'll be home in 3 hours. Mick, like I'm on it, or vice versa. It's at nighttime. Hey, can you do X, Y, and Z? Like, yeah, I got timer now. Mick's like, all right, thanks. Like I'm about to go into work. Like. One of us would always be there to do something, if not both.
Right. Are you worried in this position with your other half that he would be trying to just take you out and claim all of Gus's salary? And then on top of that, coming from me and coming from my salary.
I can only speak for myself. I know no for me. And I honestly think, because we spoke about it in depth, he really just wants a spot on the show, which he's been saying forever. This would give him a spot. It wouldn't be a high paying spot, but it would give him some security as a part of a show that he loves, and he can continue to stay in the Cape with his girlfriend. Like it would just be good, I think, for everyone. I don't think he would be gunning for you or gunning for me, but I cannot say that 100% certain.
Oh, he definitely would be.
Yeah, Mickey's got a track record.
I know for I bet he would be coming for me, but
both of you guys.
What are your concerns operationally, Coleman, outside of him coming for you? Like, what are your concerns about if something falls through the cracks? Like, do you have any of those concerns?
I think one of my main concerns was something I asked about that downtime week. Like, is it just where all of a sudden it's still a two-person dynamic or whatever because that other person is just off doing whatever. I understand you guys doing your other job or whatever on top of it. That makes sense to me.
I listen to the show, like you guys be sitting here, say it's you and Mick.
Yeah.
Like something may go up on the Twitter account, like where it's already clipped and whatnot, staying out, one step ahead of it.
Right.
Right. Like nothing would really slip through the cracks.
And now,
be easy.
To Gus's credit, he's come under fire a lot for not having content ideas. What content do you guys think that you two would be able to bring? Do you have that planned out already?
I said this during the producer search. I think it's a good idea. I would say like we already have like Nicholas is kind of like maybe half of an intern, but maybe get a good group of 2 to 3 interns and have like a quick maybe 8-part series interviewing potential people.
Gotcha.
Like say if it's like 15 minutes, 15, 45, and the last 15 is all 3 of them at once, and then like all right, you advance. And eventually coming up with like a pool of producers. Like there's stuff you can do behind the scenes, whether it's on the network or on the actual channel.
Yeah.
Like to kind of grow the show and keep it going.
I will say in terms of like live clipping the show, like we end the show and Nicholas has around like 5 to 8 clips that are like good, solid clips, I think, from the show. So I think he is doing a good job in that respect. Something that I would like, and Nicholas has dabbled in this a little bit for me. I don't know his full capability on it, but I think having a added graphics person where you can just have like meme type stuff coming out on show accounts would be great. So I don't know if that's technically a separate position. It also gets to the point where how many extra interns do you need? We've seen Gus struggle with having to make use of his time or whatever. Like, how much time actually needs to go into individual positions? Does that take away from what you and Mick add to the show too? Well, like, I think that's a question for me that I'd have to answer. But
I think interns, they shouldn't stick around that much like they have in the past. They stay around forever. Like, come into your 3 to 4 months, do what you got to do, you know, growing it, and then on to a new batch. Because if you have an intern on month 15, it's like, yeah, okay, they are almost like slave labor at that point. You know what I'm saying? You know, so.
Well, speaking to the other day, I had that "We Are the World" clip, and Willie, intern Will or whatever. That is dynamite. His portion of that song
Went so hard.
I don't even really know about him too much, but I had seen that video before, and the auto tune on that gets me every single time.
Also, too, like say like 4 shows. Obviously, I wouldn't mind hosting. Not exactly trying to take away from Minifan, but like everyone who won in that week, maybe doing like one big recap, whatnot to drop. Because I think like everyone, if you
Actors Room or whatever that show's called.
If you listen to like podcasts, like everyone has that moment where it's like Saturday night, Sunday, you have fucking nothing.
Yeah.
So like to drop like that, maybe like Saturday night or Sunday morning to kind of like lead into the next week, something like that.
Right. Nick Tacular in the chat. Coleman, did you get that sweater from an estate sale? It's laundry day. You know I battle the laundry. It's tough. I spent a full.
I like the sweater.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
It's a little hugs the moves a little too much. All right, so why don't we just wrap up here with first, Pat, you unveiled a nickname today, Pancake Pat.
Kindergarten nickname. It went
It's
away
tough.
pretty quickly, and that was a massive mistake because I don't think it going away.
Do you remember the moment it first happened?
Yep. There was this girl, Jackie. I forget her last name. We were out at the kindergarten playground, and like I think I probably initiated with kicking. I think sand was kicked at some point, and then she said it, and then a couple other people said it, and I remember it was just
Roasted.
It only really lasted in kindergarten, but like it pissed me off because like pancakes don't have noses and stuff, so like it couldn't be completely.
Actually, it's
flat.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
I get it.
Tough.
But
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
And then Montante, why don't we wrap up here? I've been asking for Montante's World. I got to listen back now to your new episode.
Good episode.
But, you know, a lot going on in the world, in the world of conspiracies, and we got aliens in malls. We got Epstein lists dropping left and right. What's up? Like, give us the breakdown real quick. Like, first the mall, the aliens in the mall.
You wanted to wrap up
my
quick?
my takeaway is that this new thing we have with Twitter and everything going viral. No one cares about the facts; they just want to go viral. So, it sounds like there was one asshole dressed up in like an alien costume, and it was a bunch of kids
lighting off
fireworks.
Yeah.
But then, like, you have people with drones. You hear something with the aliens. So the story comes out that people are running from dark figures and stuff, and so that takes off like crazy. I would say there's nothing to it. The conspiratorial people will say that they're trying to normalize you to this stuff, like make you numb to it, so when it happens, you're not like shocked. So that's like what's on. I just think this is people trying to go viral and whatnot.
Well, I saw that like a lot of people were saying they're wiping the internet of anybody speaking out on this. They've had people like say one thing about the event and then put up another video saying they were joking.
Yeah, there was one guy who said like, "Oh yeah, I'm just joking. I'm like 2 states away or whatever." Like,
yeah, I don't think that's the thing too. Like I saw, we talked on Montante's World. One guy had a video and he said he was there. He has a timeshare with his fiance or his girlfriend.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Yeah, we were running from it. Like it was crazy." And he addressed one of the things. People are like, "All right, well, this is happening. Like, why don't you take a video?" And he goes, "Imagine you see some paranormal shit. Are you about to stop and take a fucking Spielberg video of it? Or you're getting the fuck up out of there." So I get that. But that being said, too, if there are kids shooting off videos or shooting off like shit at each other, there'd be videos of that too, and there's none of that. So I don't know. And also,
everyone has a phone. We know it. Like TikTok everyone's trying to go viral. Like in that moment, you'd think one person at the least would do something like that. And that was a massive police presence for a couple kids.
And the mall saying that they don't have security cameras. Like it was 2023 and it happened. Like that's also
who's
weird.
running the place? Fucking Paul Blart.
It makes no sense. But yeah.
Yeah. Freddie Lynn in the chat. Can Montante do his Shannon Sharp impression for us?
I did briefly get into it. And I instantly stopped myself.
Yeah.
I was like, we're not doing that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you did a little impression today.
Yeah, risky one.
Which one?
Your lip.
Oh, Senta?
Yeah, you did that.
No. That's just how she sounded. And I also don't really know what ethnicity she was, but lovely lady. Spoke very highly.
Somewhere
of
from
Dave.
South America, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, why don't we wrap up with just Epstein stuff? Where does that stand now? I like this. I like hearing the brain.
He
of
went
what's
from
out there.
tweeting about Trump being the Antichrist, and now he's diving into the Epstein conspiracy.
It's been a pretty much a nothing burger so far. What people don't realize, like apparently there's like 47, 48 sealed cases that have gone on in court, and like right now only one of them, or I think we're coming up on the second one, is allowed to be released. So who knows what's on the other 46?
Right, and I think the difficult thing in this too is that like these are just court documents. So even though
Yeah.
someone is named, it doesn't necessarily mean that they were there or anything. Like
yeah.
people are just doing like the Control F search on people. So yeah, that's interesting. And something I had brought up on this week too: the tunnels in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
With the Jewish people. Now
You'll love my. I actually referenced you in that situation. Okay. So E is from New Hampshire. They don't have Hasidics in New Hampshire.
Right.
So I give them kind of a look into the culture, how they operate, and because a lot of the people like on my side were like, "Oh, this ties into child sex trafficking. This is X." I was like, "No."
I think people were
It's not
just
a
Venn
bunch of that.
diagramming
Yeah.
the two things and kind of coming up with
Yeah.
a conclusion. I didn't think that at all. I honestly didn't even think it was that weird at all, having been around Hasidic
Well,
Jews before.
Seeing a
and-
Hasidic come out of a fucking
Brooklyn,
coming out of a pothole or whatever is a little insane. But that's
Yeah,
a
fair. I
mantle.
just figured, hey, New York's a wild place as is. Hasidic Jews can get wild.
Yeah, they definitely can.
Maybe the two combined are
Yeah.
a wild time. Yeah.
You want to end on Hasidic Jews?
Oh, no, I really didn't. I was.
That's all, folks.
Yeah. Anything else you guys have though? Want to wrap up with here?
Yeah, he referenced it twice today about Justin being in next week.
Yeah.
He didn't. He left it out there. People, I see some. The poll went up. Like, is Gus fired? I think it was 54% yes, 46% no. I don't know what that means. I don't. He said, like I said, he went back to it. He said it once, and then he went back to it. So I think there's some validity to it. I don't know what. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with that. What do you guys think about that right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Justin is just kind of that go-to guy, like we've seen time and time again. And if
But he said to produce, not just come in.
no, exactly. And I mean, I think that goes back to what we were talking about today with Gus, with Kirk seemingly being out on him. I can't speak for him. I don't really know what that exactly means for Gus. I do think that having that placeholder of Justin, though, in the meantime, until he figures out whether it's Gus, the M&M boys, officially, whatever it is, like Justin is that guy to be your secondhand go-to, if you need the gold standard, if you will.
Yeah.
What would Justin do?
Gus, is it part of you after surviving seemingly the first couple of days this week? Was there a small part of you, and he probably won't admit it, that thought you were out of the woods?
No, I didn't think I was going to be out of the woods until after this show with you in here because of the M&M proposal.
Okay.
Well, people also need to remember that like Gus wasn't even going to be here this week.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Somebody said
we
that
know, we
online
almost
earlier.
didn't have Gus at all. So I don't really know exactly what the situation will hold with Justin, with you guys, with Gus going forward. I wish the best of luck to everyone. Everyone has been helpful to me in the past, so I hope I can keep that rolling with you guys. That's about all I have for the show. Gus, do you have anything else? Any last words? Anything you want to say?
I have no clue. It's been a rough day.
Yeah.
Hang in there, Gus.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Next week, Thursday, we have the Portland tickets going on sale. They're going to go fast. Please remember to buy and be locked in on those. We want to make sure that they're going quick. And then Delaware next weekend as well. Should be a fun live show. Sam will be in the building, I believe.
Yeah,
So,
yes, you will.
so that'll be a lot of fun as well. So thank you guys, and Mike and the Minifans later. See you guys next week.
Thanks, boys.